So we're looking today at three pretty distinct pieces of writing. We've got Isaiah 42, parts of Psalm 27, and then that scene from John 12 in Bethany right before Passover.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is how, despite being different, certain ideas really start to, well, echo between them.
Exactly. Themes like divine choice, justice, light, salvation, even fearlessness, and this sense that something big is coming.
It really does weave together. You see these threads showing up across the prophecy, the psalm, and the gospel narrative. Quite remarkable, really.
Okay, let's start with Isaiah 42. The way this servant figure is introduced, it's powerful stuff. God upholds him, chooses him, delights in him, puts his spirit on him. What does that sort of language tell us straight away?
Well, it screams divine appointment, doesn't it? This isn't just anyone. To be upheld, chosen,
Right.
and for God's soul to delight in him, that implies a really deep connection, total approval.
And the spirit being placed upon him.
That suggests empowerment,
Yeah.
Specifically equipped by God for whatever task is ahead. It marks this person out as exceptional, set apart for a mission.
And that mission, it seems focused on bringing fair judgment to the nations, but it's not loud or aggressive.
No, exactly. Verse 2 is clear. He will not shout or cry out. It's not about public spectacle.
Instead, it mentions him tending to the vulnerable, right? The bruised reed he won't break, the smoldering wick he won't snuff out. Just faithfully bringing justice.
It's a really beautiful picture of justice, actually. It suggests compassion alongside persistence, caring for those already weak, the marginalized, restoring, not destroying.
But gentle doesn't mean small scale, does it? It talks about establishing justice on Earth, even the islands waiting for his instruction. That sounds huge, universal.
Oh, absolutely. The scope is global. It's not limited by borders or cultures. This justice, this teaching is meant for everyone, everywhere. The islands waiting, it implies a kind of anticipation,
Yeah.
a readiness.
Then verses 5 to 7 almost feel like God stepping in to underscore it all. God the Creator, giving breath and spirit, and then directly addressing the servant. I, the Lord, have called you in righteousness. I will take hold of your hand. Forming him as a covenant, a light. These are massive declarations.
They really are. Grounding it in creation itself gives it ultimate authority. And linking that creative power to the servant's calling, it highlights just how important this mission is, cosmically speaking.
A covenant for the people, a light for the nations. What does that mean practically?
It points to a role as a mediator, maybe, a bridge between the divine and humanity, a source of guidance, like light showing the way, And a covenant implies relationship, a binding promise.
And the purpose becomes crystal clear. To open eyes that are blind, free captives from prison, release from the dungeon those who sit in darkness.
Exactly. Liberation, enlightenment, whether literal blindness and captivity or, metaphorical states of ignorance, oppression, despair. The servant's job is transformation, bringing sight, freedom, hope.
That idea of hope and really strong trust just leaps out from Psalm 27, particularly those verses we have.
Oh, definitely.
It kicks off so boldly. Yahweh is my light and my salvation. Whom should I fear? And Yahweh is the fortress of my life. Whom should I dread? Such confidence.
It's profound security, isn't it? Light for guidance, salvation for deliverance, a fortress for protection. The psalmist feels completely safe, anchored in the divine, no matter what.
And it's not like the threats aren't real. The psalm mentions wicked people advancing, opponents, enemies, even an army setting up camp or war breaking out.
Right, these are serious dangers, not just vague anxieties.
Yet the response is unwavering. My heart will not fear, my trust will never be shaken. That contrast is just, wow.
It really shows the power of that faith, doesn't it? Acknowledging the danger, but refusing to let fear dominate, because the trust in Yahweh is stronger. It's resilience born from faith.
Then in verses 13 and 14, there's this forward look, this active hope. I shall see the goodness of Yahweh in the land of the living.
Yeah, it's not just about getting through the bad stuff. It's a confident expectation of seeing good things, experiencing God's favor right here, right now, in life.
Followed by that repeated call. Put your hope in Yahweh, be strong, let your heart be bold. It's like an encouragement to oneself or maybe to the community.
Could be both. It's definitely a call to courage rooted in that hope. The waiting isn't passive. It's an active stance of faith that fuels strength and boldness. Wait, be strong, take heart. It's quite powerful.
Okay, shifting now to John's Gospel. Chapter 12, Bethany. 6 days before Passover. That timing feels significant.
Extremely significant. Passover is looming, a time deeply associated with liberation and sacrifice in Jewish tradition. Setting the scene there adds layers of meaning immediately.
And the guest list is notable too. Jesus is there, obviously. Martha's serving, which feels typical for her.
Consistent characterization.
But Lazarus is there too, reclining at the table, the man Jesus raised from the dead.
Yeah, his presence is almost like a walking, talking miracle, isn't it? A living symbol of Jesus' power over death, connecting maybe to that salvation theme from the psalm. It really raises the stakes of this dinner.
Then Mary does something extraordinary. She takes this pound of very expensive perfume, pure nard.
Incredibly costly, like a year's wages,
Yeah.
some estimate.
Wow. And she anoints Jesus' feet with it and then wipes them with her hair. And the whole house fills with the scent. What's going on there? Symbolically.
Oh, it's packed with meaning. The costliness shows extravagant love, immense value placed on Jesus. Anointing itself often points to kingship or priestly roles,
Okay.
but anointing the feet, usually the dirtiest part, and wiping them with her hair, a woman's glory that speaks of incredible humility, profound reverence, maybe even intimacy. It's a stunning act of devotion. And the fragrance filling the house means everyone is enveloped in this act. It can't be ignored.
But someone does object, Judas Iscariot.
Right. Mr. Practicality. Or so he seems.
He asks, why wasn't this ointment sold for the poor? But John, the narrator, immediately gives us the inside scoop.
Yeah, a little aside, not because he cared for the poor, but because he was a thief, skimming from the money bag.
It's such a stark contrast, isn't it? Extravagant, genuine love right next to, well, cynical hypocrisy and greed.
It really sharpens the focus on Mary's authentic devotion versus Judas's calculating self-interest. It shows the different ways people responded to Jesus, even within his inner circle. Adds a real tension.
And Jesus' reaction defends Mary, but also points somewhere else entirely. Leave her alone. Let her keep it for the day of my burial.
He immediately frames her action in light of his impending death. He sees it as a prophetic anointing, preparing him for what's coming.
And that line, you have the poor with you always, you will not always have me. What do you make of that?
It sounds like he's saying, look, opportunities for charity will continue, but this moment, this recognition of who I am and what's about to happen is unique and fleeting. He's prioritizing the significance of this act in this specific context, heading towards the cross. It underlines the urgency.
The story then mentions that a lot of people came out to Bethany, not just for Jesus, but also specifically to see Lazarus.
Right, the resurrected man was a sensation. It shows the ripple effect of that miracle. Lazarus himself was drawing crowds, becoming proof of Jesus' power.
Which inevitably perhaps leads to the reaction of the chief priests.
Yeah, the plot thickens, or rather, darkens.
They decide they need to kill Lazarus too, because so many people were believing in Jesus because of Lazarus.
It shows how threatened the authorities felt. Jesus wasn't just teaching. His actions, his miracles were having a massive impact, causing people to shift their allegiance. So they decide to eliminate the evidence Lazarus himself. It reveals the depth of their opposition and fear.
So when you put Isaiah, the Psalm, and this scene in John side by side, you really see those connections click, don't you?
Absolutely. The servant in Isaiah, chosen, bringing justice and light, resonates with the psalmist clinging to God as his light and salvation in dangerous times.
Yeah, and then in John, you see Jesus, the focus of Mary's incredible service and devotion, interpreted by him through the lens of his coming death and burial, a pivotal event.
Exactly. And even Mary's act itself, this costly, fragrant service, feels like a fulfillment, in a way, of that quiet, faithful work Isaiah described. Not loud, but profoundly significant.
It's like the themes are converging on this moment in Bethany, pointing towards the cross, service, light, salvation, facing threats, ultimate purpose. It all seems to be swirling around Jesus here.
It does. The servant bringing light, the psalmist finding light in God, Mary anointing the one who is the light, even as darkness gathers with Judas and the priests plotting. The hope expressed in the psalm seems tested, but ultimately focused on Jesus' own interpretation of events.
It makes you think about how individual actions, like Mary's anointing, or even the quiet faithfulness of the servant, can carry immense weight in sort of a larger divine story.
That's a really important takeaway. These texts invite us to look at the motivations: the servant's mission, the psalmist's trust, Mary's love, Judas's greed, the priest's fear. They show enduring human responses when faced with the divine, especially at critical moments.
Yeah, it prompts reflection on how our own actions, maybe even the seemingly small ones, might fit into a bigger picture of hope and justice that stretches across time.
Precisely. It suggests that acts of devotion, moments of trust, commitments to justice, they matter. They resonate beyond the immediate moment.